First announced at Star Wars Celebration this past year, James Mangold's upcoming Dawn of the Jedi Star Wars movie was described as being about the origins of the Jedi and the dawning of the Force set before the Old Republic. Set 25,000 years in the past, it's said to be inspired by Ben-Hur and the Ten Commandments. With the new Indiana Jones movie coming out later this week, Mangold has taken part in many different interviews, and while speaking with Gizmodo, the subject of the upcoming Star Wars movie came up, where he shared some of the first story details regarding the project. Mangold talked about how he was surprised when Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy mentioned potentially going far back in time, and then he went on to say that his Star Wars project will not necessarily be about the origins of the Jedi, but about the first people to feel and utilize the power of the Force, saying, quote, "For me, it's about, I want to be a part of the saga, but I also don't want to be holding so much lore in the air that you can hardly tell a story. And what I really wanted to do, what I told her, was just, can we make a kind of 10 Commandments of the Force, a kind of origin story of how the Force came to be known, understood, wielded, and harnessed." In a separate conversation with Variety, Mangold revealed that the movie is very much about the birth of the Force, saying, quote, "The Force has become a kind of religious legend that spans through all these movies. But where did it come from? How was it found? Who found it? Who was the first Jedi?" And that's what I'm writing right now. We knew that this story was going to be set very far in the past, farther back than any other canon story has been set before, but the fact that it'll be depicting the origins of the Force, and not necessarily the Jedi, interests me a lot. It's not what I was first expecting when the movie was announced at Star Wars Celebration, and it makes me wonder how connected it'll feel to the larger Star Wars universe, if Mangold plans to really lean into that biblical epic style of filmmaking, and with this set 25,000 years in the past. The other two movies announced are much more entwined with the main storyline, with one being set after the rise of Skywalker, and the other between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. But because the story is going to be so different, I wonder how big of an audience it'll draw, since there isn't much connective tissue other than the concept of the Force and potentially the Jedi. If you saw a recent video of mine, then you know about the new release dates for the upcoming Star Wars movies. And while we still don't know much about this movie, in regards to both its story and which premiere slot it'll hold, it does seem reasonable that it could end up being the second movie to premiere in theaters, which would be December of 2026. It sounds like Mangold is currently writing the script, but with the various strikes going on in Hollywood, the schedule for production could easily change. Let me know how excited you are for this film in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for more up-to-date news stories. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.